At this time, we are going to have a readers' theater that many of the people in our congregation are going to participate in. And it's essentially 9 individuals who observed Christ's entry into Jerusalem, sharing their insights. Some of the spectators are close friends of Jesus. Some are enemies. Others are indifferent or confused. This presentation gives listeners a dramatic look into the thoughts and emotions surrounding the battle over Christ's identity in those final days.
The major burden of the Gospels is to make the identity of Jesus Christ very clear by his example, his miracles, his own teaching about himself. The question Christ asks men and women over and over is, "Whom do you say that I am?" Today we commemorate Palm Sunday. This was the day when all the forces of belief and unbelief converged in a mass public judgment about the identity of Christ. The crowd proclaimed him King of Israel in Jerusalem. But Christ knew what was in man. He knew man's fickleness. He did not take their adulation as commitment, nor their denial as irreparable. Within a week, the crowd had shouted for his crucifixion, and he had died for their sins, been buried for 3 days, and had been raised by the power of God from earth, forever testifying to who he really is. Now it is we who are on the judgment stand. Who are we on Palm Sunday? As we participate in this scripture-based drama, try to identify with the background, the reactions, and the verdict of each of the 9 representatives of humanity standing along Christ's palm-strewn path 2,000 years ago. Then consider, who am I on Palm Sunday?
This is infuriating. Ever since he healed that man born blind and raised Lazarus from the dead, the world has gone after him. He deserves to be stoned. He claims he is equal with God, saying that he was before Abraham and all that blasphemy. As we discussed in council, if we let him go on thus and everyone will believe in him, the Romans will come and destroy both our holy place and our nation. I told them, "Do you not understand that it is expedient for you that one man should die for the people, and that the whole nation should not perish?" Today's scene confirms it. We can't delay any longer. He must be destroyed.
I don't know what to make of all this. Our Jewish leaders have vowed to kill our master, and I don't know why he is putting himself through all this. All this Passover feast, and with all the tension in the crowds. I told the rest of the group who travels with him that if he insists on leaving seclusion and joining the feast, let us also go, that we may die with him. I've cast my lot with him, and I'm going to stick it out. But I'm pessimistic about what's really going to happen when this week is over.
Oh, how exciting to wave these branches and sing our pilgrim psalm together. Hosanna, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord, even the King of Israel. Jesus always seems to love us children. How I'd like to ride with him on that donkey all the way into the city. I wonder what it means to be crowned the King of Israel. Will Jesus move into the palace? My parents are so excited. They're even letting us children shout and sing.
How utterly blasphemous. Singing Hosanna, save now, to this deliverer. Our Messiah will come on a white steed and drive out our oppressors. This liar sits peacefully on a donkey, and yet, ever since that Lazarus incident, we've been powerless. As I said to the other leaders, you see that you can do nothing. Look, the world has gone after him.
What is going on with these Jews? I mean, we don't understand all their customs, but surely we will learn something from this festival that seems to mean so much more than any of the others. It has something to do with a sacrificial lamb. Actually, we came to investigate who this man is. The miracle worker that everyone is talking about. This Jesus, he talks about having other sheep that are not in his fold. We went to the Galilean, Philip, and begged him. We said, "Sir, we wish to see Jesus." He and another disciple, Andrew, told Jesus this, but his response was so strange. He said, "The hour has come for the Son of Man to be glorified. Truly, truly, I say to you, unless a grain of wheat falls on the earth and dies, it remains alone. But if it dies, it bears much fruit." Then Jesus stopped to pray, finally standing right in the middle of a crowd that we were on the edge of. He said, "Father, glorify thy name." I heard something like a roar of majestic thunder coming from heaven. And then Jesus spoke. And he said, "This voice has come for your sake and not for mine. Now is the judgment of this world. Now shall the ruler of this world be cast out. And I, when I am lifted up from the earth, will draw men to myself." We don't understand what he meant, but perhaps we will learn as we follow him to Jerusalem for this Passover week.
What was that thunder we heard the other day? What was our peaceful master talking about? Is he going to drive out the ruler of the world or not? On a donkey? I'm tired of his heavenly talk. I want action. Let him prove himself one way or another, I say. I'm not going to shuffle around behind him any longer. Now or never, I'll help them make him do something.
Oh, dear God, at last the people are proclaiming him to be our Messiah. I felt it in my bones every time I've been near him these last 3 amazing years of our lives. He's come and gone from our home in Bethany. We were so privileged to give him that hospitality. And when he didn't come when our brother Lazarus was ill, Martha and I couldn't believe our most loving friend wouldn't come and do that for us when he did it for other strangers. But when he finally did arrive, 4 days after the funeral, I hardly knew how to speak to him. I was numb from Lazarus' death and numb from Jesus' strange insensitivity too. I was confused when he asked us to still believe and called himself the resurrection. We were horrified to be asked to open the tomb, to have to smell our brother's deadness. He looked so longingly at Martha and me and said, "Did I not tell you that if you would believe, you would see the glory of God?" And then he called my brother forth, and Lazarus came out alive. It's been weeks now, and Lazarus has gone on living. I touch Lazarus, and I am overcome by joy and overflowing praise to this one who can bring back the dead. The people are amazed. They just come and to see Lazarus, a living proof of Jesus' ability to give victory even over death. Still, I find fear in my heart, for my brother's resurrection has stirred up so much attention that the Pharisees cannot bear such evidence. They threatened to kill Lazarus along with Jesus. I'm so afraid. Something Jesus said at our supper for him last week put terror in my heart. When I anointed his dear feet, and Judas was so indignant, Jesus defended me. "Let her alone," he said. "Let her keep it for the day of my burial." Burial? If they kill Jesus, our hope will be extinguished. And even if they don't kill my brother now, Lazarus will still someday have to die, and it would be final without Jesus here to heal him. Oh, what does it all mean? Jesus calling himself the resurrection.
I miss that day that he turned the temple upside down. How I'd love to have seen those money changers scrambling. Well, we'll get quite a show this week, if today is any sample. Last time he was around, that case of the man born blind stirred up the whole town. I used to throw pennies to that poor beggar myself. Strange, I could swear that blind man and that seeing one were the same man. But it can't be. Sometimes you can't believe your own eyes. Blind fools. I'll not be so easily taken in.
Oh, my dear Lord, how much we have come to love you these years together, and how much you have loved us, and the light that you have brought to our lives. But what is to happen to you now? Over and over, you keep talking about departure and death. You know, we have seen your glory displayed before our very eyes. I remember when Peter and James and we were with you on that mountaintop only a year ago, and you were transfigured before us, standing there talking to long-dead Moses and Elijah, and they were alive? So strange it was. We said to each other that in such glory you spoke about your departure, which you were to accomplish in Jerusalem. But I fear that your departure may be at hand. You keep warning these people that don't know you as well as I do, or as well as we do, that the light is with you for only a little while longer. And while you have the light, believe in the light, that you may become sons of light. I need to remember every word you say, for I fear these are becoming your last words to the world. There you stand, even now, calling out to the crowd as if this is your last plea to them. And you say, he who believes in me, believes not in me, but in him who sent me. And he who sees me, sees him who sent me. I have come as light into the world, that whoever believes in me may not remain in darkness. I did not come to judge the world, but to save the world. And he who rejects me and does not receive my sayings has a judge. The words that I have spoken will be his judge on the last day.
There you have it. 9 evaluations of Jesus from that fateful day we call Palm Sunday. But who do you and who do I say he is? We will not all agree. Each of us must answer for himself, for herself. In the honesty of your own heart, with which of the 9 do you stand? Let's update each character for a minute to a 20th century version. Is there a Caiaphas among us? A Christian leader who fears what social consequences may befall the religious community if we totally follow the Nazarene as equal with God? Is there a Thomas among us? One who calls Jesus Master, but is grim about the outcome of getting into trouble with the secular crowd or the religious leadership? Is there a child among us? One who loves the excitement that Jesus can generate, eager for connections with a king in a golden palace? Is there a Pharisee among us? One who thinks real messianic authenticity demands a politically effective deliverer, not a questionably effective Prince of Peace as the Messiah? Is there a Greek among us? An uninstructed outsider attracted to a miracle worker? A Greek who is open to considering the identity of this strange man who speaks of the death of a grain of wheat? Is there a Judas among us? One tired of what seems like heavenly talk? One who sees visible political action as the only measurable proof of authentic messiahship? Is there a Mary among us? One who stands in awe of Jesus, thrilled with his friendship and convinced by his miraculous intervention in her life experience? Is there a member of the crowd among us who is bored by all the commotion, skeptical of Jesus and unwilling to actually evaluate the evidence? Is there a John the disciple among us who has glimpsed something of the glorified Jesus and is longing to keep living in this light? Who is Jesus? Who is each of us? Who are you? Who do you desire to be? In silent prayer, consider the verdict of those who lived out the Palm Sunday drama. Reflect on your own decision about the identity of this one who spoke his word to us, to them, and to us. Think, who am I on this Palm Sunday? Who do I say that he is? Within 5 days, Jesus walked the triumphal entry road again, but this time he was carrying his cross. He was headed to Calvary, the site of his sacrifice. As you listen to this music, prayerfully consider how Christ is in your life today.
Coming King, saving Lord, by your cross, redeeming the world. We will shout, Hosanna on high. We will praise, you will rise. Sing Hosanna, sing Hosanna, King of kings, Lord of lords, you are God. Lamb of God, sacrificed, raised your hands so we might have life. So we live because you died. We cry out, Hosanna on high. Sing Hosanna, sing Hosanna, King of kings, Lord of lords, you are God. Sing Hosanna, sing Hosanna, King of kings, Lord of lords, you are God. Raise your hands. Raise your hands. Raise your hands. Sing Hosanna, sing Hosanna, King of kings.